Good morning, Panthers. All right, today we have a bonus read aloud because yesterday we started our story about 28 days, moments in Black history that changed the world. And we got through the first 14. So today we're going to finish the last 14. And so I hope you had a chance to listen yesterday. If not, be sure to check out the YouTube video right before this because it has the first 14 really important moments in Black history. And we're going to start now today with number 15. May 17th, 1954, Brown versus the Board of Education. Decision, eliminating segregation in schools. And remember, segregation is separation because back then, white people and Black people were not allowed to go to school together. And there was a separate place that Black people needed to go to school. And so it says, we conclude that in the field of public education, the doctrine of separate but equal has no place. Separate educational facilities are inherently unequal. And that was the United States Supreme Court, a very important decision because it said no more segregation during schools. When Oliver Brown of Topeka, Kansas tried to enroll his daughter in the newest school just 7 blocks away, he was told it was for white children only. To get to the Black school, his daughter would have to walk a mile through a railroad switchyard. Her name was Linda. Her case and many others like it were filed under one claim and questioned if schools could truly be separate but equal. All right, next one, day 16. December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks sits. With tired feet and courage in her eyes, on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa sat so others could rise. Christmas lights lit up the December skies as a fatigued soul sat still with tired feet and courage in her eyes. Black faces obeyed with swallowed sighs when told, move to the back. But Rosa sat so others could rise. Police made an arrest when there was no reply from the seamstress with spectacles, with tired feet and courage in her eyes. To jail with eyes focused on freedom's prize. The color line was questioned when Rosa sat so others could rise. Standing up to injustice by taking a seat. With tired feet and courage in her eyes, Rosa Parks sat so others could rise. Rosa Parks inspired the civil rights movement. When her story spread across Montgomery, a boycott of Birmingham buses was organized by a young minister by the name of, who did we learn about? Martin Luther King Jr. Day 17. May 26, 1956, Althea Gibson becomes the first Black woman to win a tennis title. August 25th, 1968, Arthur Ashe becomes the first Black man to win a tennis title. Althea Gibson, Arthur Ashe, champions in tennis, champions with class. Althea, raised in Harlem, New York City, first became a paddle tennis prodigy. Arthur, born in Richmond, Virginia, was 6 when tennis called him to play. Althea progressed from paddle to racket and learned to chase the ball and smack it. Arthur progressed on the court fast and hit the books hard, becoming first in his class. Althea and Arthur soon began to win, not once, not twice, but again and again. But Althea and Arthur were shut out of play with white players in big tournaments until one fine day. The stage, the French Open, where Althea became the first Black champion in the pro tennis game. 12 years later, Arthur held in his hand the US Open trophy as the best in the land. Like Jackie Robinson before, Althea Gibson and Arthur Ashe erased the color line with hard work and class. Day 18, September 25th, 1957, the Little Rock Nine attend classes in Little Rock's Central High School under the protection of the U.S. Army's 101st Airborne Division. Day 1, 9 fresh faces, wide-eyed and black, tried to enter Central High, but National Guards kept them back. One was separated, wearing dark sunglasses, hiding tears of fear as white faces harassed her. Bayonets greeted them and turned them away as a chant rang out from the chaos to say, 2, 4, 6, 8, we don't want to integrate. 2, 4, 6, 8, we don't want to integrate. Day 2. 2 weeks later, no guards, just a crowd, about 1,000 strong, stood hostile and loud. Through a side door, the students slipped through, quiet, but news of their entry caused a near riot. Trapped in the school, police smuggled them away in cars through a mob with guns on display. Day 3, the next day, the president put Little Rock in line by sending troops to protect the Little Rock 9. Helicopters and soldiers created an atmosphere of war as the new students were escorted to the door. 9 brave teenagers dealt a blow to segregation when they ascended the steps to an equal education. When it was learned that 9 Black students would attempt to enter segregated Central High in Little Rock, Arkansas, the governor ordered the National Guard to keep them out. The students were chosen from area schools because of their good grades and included Ernest Green, Elizabeth Eckford, Jefferson Thomas, Terrence Roberts, Carlotta Walls, Minnie Jean Brown, Gloria Ray, Thelma Mothershed, and Melba Patillo. Rather than be forced to integrate, the governor closed all schools the following year. Day 19, September 11th, 1960, Wilma Rudolph wins the 3rd Olympic gold medal. 1940, June 23, a child is born in St. Bethlehem, Tennessee. A sickly child born 2 months early, just 4.5 pounds, but a bundle of energy. 19 siblings all tried to relieve her as she battled pneumonia, measles, and scarlet fever. Then came polio and a heartbreaking talk when doctors said, your child will never walk. But visits to a hospital 50 miles away, twice a week, and leg massages every day brought the leg back to life and allowed the child to play. First came basketball, then came track, then came the Olympics, and the wind at her back. With legs like a gazelle powered by the heart of a lion, Wilma Rudolph took gold with a will strong as iron. Isn't that a remarkable story? Talk about courage, right? Wilma Rudolph was the first American female track athlete to win 3 Olympic gold medals in a single Olympics. In Rome, 1960, she set Olympic records in the 100 and 200 meter races and a world record in the 4x100 relay, where she was the anchor. 4 years earlier, at the age of 16, she earned an Olympic bronze medal as part of the 4x100 relay team. Pretty amazing stuff. Day 20. August 28, 1963, March on Washington. Martin Luther King Jr. delivers I Have a Dream speech. On buses they came, on trains they came, in cars they came, on planes they came, by foot they came to march. With blisters on their feet they came, with purpose in their step they came, with strength in their spirit they came, with hope in their heart they came to march. Old faces, young faces, black faces, white faces marched and gathered and listened. Standing small beneath Lincoln, standing tall above the crowd, one voice spoke, I have a dream, and the world listened. Over 200,000 people participated in the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, but with the power of TV and radio, it was broadcast to the entire world. Various Black leaders spoke throughout the day before Martin Luther King Jr. ended with his famous speech. A year later, the Civil Rights Act was passed, which officially ended segregation. Day 21, February 21st, 1965, Malcolm X is assassinated. Black, fiery, and never yielding, Malcolm X electrified masses by preaching self-respect, intelligence, freedom, action, devotion, discipline, and self-determination, making him a dangerous revolutionary. Malcolm X, born Malcolm Little, stepped in the public eye as a minister for the Nation of Islam, which became labeled as the Black Muslim movement. The nation's leader, Elijah Muhammad, preached education and self-determination, among other things, to its members. But before Malcolm was introduced to the Nation of Islam, he made some bad choices that ultimately landed him in prison. Malcolm used his prison sentence to educate himself by reading books and joining the debate team. Upon his release, he put his words to work by giving speeches for the nation to attract new members. Where Martin Luther King Jr. preached nonviolence, Malcolm X had a different point of view that focused on standing up to injustice. And you can see here, remember another thing that the illustrator did here? So this says, by any means necessary, which is what Malcolm X believed in order to stand up for injustice. Day 22, October 2nd, 1967, Thurgood Marshall sworn in as the first Black Supreme Court Justice. I, Thurgood Marshall, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will administer justice without respect to persons and do equal right to the poor and to the rich, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me as Associate Justice of the United States Supreme Court, according to the best of my abilities and understanding, agreeably to the Constitution and laws of the United States, so help me God. As a young boy, Thurgood Marshall was taught appreciation for the Constitution and the law by his father. He went on to receive a law degree from Howard University, where he was encouraged by a mentor to apply the Constitution to overturn unjust laws. He was successful in getting the first Black student admitted to the University of Maryland Law School, a school that also rejected Marshall because of his color. He argued Brown versus Board of Education, that we had just talked about, and he won, and overturned case after case throughout the country to end segregation before joining the Supreme Court. Day 23, January 25th, 1972, Shirley Chisholm declares herself as a presidential candidate for the Democratic Party, the very first Black woman to ever do so. Run, Shirley, run for New York State Assembly. Go, Shirley, go for U.S. Congress. Win, Shirley, win to become the president. Vote Shirley Chisholm, a woman for the people, unbought and unbossed. And it says Shirley Chisholm became interested in politics when a political science professor at Brooklyn College suggested she had a natural talent for it. Shirley was born in Brooklyn, New York, but lived from age 3 to 10 in Barbados, a former British colony. There, she received a well-rounded education that made her a top student upon her return to New York, eventually earning several college scholarships. Throughout her career as a politician, Shirley spoke out for minorities and women. Her campaign slogan when running for president was, "Unbought and unbossed," to remind everyone that Shirley Chisholm was her own woman. Day 24, April 8th, 1974. Hank Aaron hits his 715th home run, breaking Babe Ruth's long-standing career home run record. Hack away, Hank. Get a hit. Get a ribby. Hack away, Hank. Hack away at history. Gehrig, Williams, Mantle all fell as Hank hacked away to left, right, and center field. Hank kept tacking and soon took aim at the home run record with Babe Ruth's name. Tied with Willie Mays, Hank hacked for the crown and blasted a slider that took the Babe down. The stadium exploded into chants and cheers as Black faces flowed with pride and tears. Hank, born Henry Aaron, took the home run record from Babe Ruth in his 20th year in the league. As he got closer to the record, he and his family received hate mail and death threats because of his race. When fans heard about this, they countered with letters of support, which pushed Hank harder to achieve the record. As of this writing, Barry Bonds has since taken the home run record, but Hank still holds the record for the most RBIs, or runs batted in, also known as ribbies. And Hank Aaron just passed away. Day 25, August 30th, 1983, Gwion Guy Bluford becomes the first Black astronaut launched into space aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger. September 12th, 1992, Mae Jemison becomes the first Black female astronaut in space aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour. As a young boy, Gwion Guy Bluford enjoys building model airplanes and dreams of one day building real ones. Mae Jemison is born in the 10th month, October, on the 17th in 1956. Guy is born on November 22nd, 1942, 9 months after the Tuskegee Airmen became the first all-Black flying unit. 9th grade, Mae enters high school at age 12. Guy is chosen as part of NASA Group 8, the first class of orbiting space shuttle astronauts. Some 8,000 applied, 35 were accepted, including Guy and 2 other Black astronauts. Mae begins taking dance class at 8 years old, learns she's afraid of heights, and when taking the elevated train to a class in Chicago. Guy was a test pilot for 7 different types of aircraft. Mae skipped the 7th grade because she already read at college level. Guy spends 6 days orbiting in space. In 6th grade, Mae spends hours in the library studying space. Guy is one of 5 astronauts on board the Space Shuttle Challenger. At age 5, Mae declares she wants to be a scientist when she grows up. "Don't you mean a nurse?" her kindergarten teacher says. "No, I mean a scientist," Mae says. Guy has 4 college degrees, a bachelor's, master's, and doctorate in aerospace engineering, along with a master of business administration. In 4th grade, Mae cuts her hair into a short afro. Since not many had the hairstyle and she was tall, she was often confused for a boy. Guy is the oldest of 3 boys. 3rd grade, Mae begins a science project called Eras of Time. She completes it in 6th grade. She worked on it for 3 years. All right, next fact. Guy was a Boy Scout and achieved the ranking of Star Scout, just 2 below the highest ranking of Eagle Scout. Mae has 2 older siblings, Ada Sue and Ricky. And number 1, Guy Bluford is the first Black to launch into space. Mae Jemison is the first Black female to launch into space. All right, day 26, May 10th, 1994. Nelson Mandela inaugurated as first Black president of South Africa. Mandela, Mandela, man of the people, Mandela. Madiba, Madiba, son of Africa, Madiba, South African President Mandela. Nelson Mandela was sentenced to life in prison in June 1964 when found guilty of trying to cause a violent revolution in South Africa. This was due to his work with the African National Congress, a group that supports the rights of Native Africans. In 1948, apartheid, which is separateness, went into effect in South Africa, creating laws that caused inequality between whites and Blacks. Mandela was given many chances at freedom if he agreed to stop his work with the ANC, but he declined each time. With the eyes of the world focused on South Africa's brutal policies, President F.W. de Klerk began releasing political prisoners, including Mandela. The 2 men then worked to create a constitution and shared government for all South Africans. As a member of the Madiba clan, many took to calling him that as a nickname. Day 27, February 27, 2003, Forbes magazine declares Oprah Winfrey the first Black female billionaire in world history. 1, Oprah Gail Winfrey born to a single mother. 10, bounced between mother and father in Milwaukee and Nashville. 100, out of control, child moves in with disciplined father. Father requires a book report a week. She became an honor student. 1,000, full scholarship earned to Tennessee State University to study speech, communications, and performing arts. 10,000, bubbling radio personality in Nashville becomes TV news co-anchor in Baltimore. 100,000, awkward co-anchor blossoms as outgoing talk show co-host. 1 million, co-host in Baltimore becomes host in Chicago. 10 million, Chicago talk show host becomes movie star in The Color Purple. 100 million. Movie star becomes TV star when talk show goes to a national audience. 1 billion, which is how much she was the first billionaire Black woman. Host plus actress plus TV producer plus film producer plus magazine publisher equals Harpo Productions. Oprah spelled backward. From Oprah Winfrey to Oprah to just O. Lots of facts I didn't know about Oprah Winfrey. All right. And day 28, January 20th, 2009, Barack Obama inaugurated as first Black president. Crispus Attucks sacrificed. Dred Scott sued. Robert Smalls stole so Barack could be counted. Daniel Hale healed. Matthew Henson conquered. Harriet Tubman led. Henry Johnson fought. Madam C.J. Walker built so Barack could dream. Bessie Coleman soared. Jesse Owens sprinted. Marian Anderson sang. Jackie Robinson swung. Brown sued and won so Barack could stand. Rosa sat. Althea and Arthur smashed. The Little Rock Nine endured. Wilma roared. Martin marched. Malcolm challenged. Thurgood was sworn in. Shirley ran so Barack could run. Hank hacked away. Mae and Guy launched. Mandela inspired. Oprah earned so Barack could win. Number 44, America's first Black president. Barack Hussein Obama was born on August 4th, 1961 in Honolulu, Hawaii. His mother was a white woman from Kansas and his father a Black man from Kenya, Africa. Barack was called Barry for years because he had no true connection to his African name, but that changed when he attended Columbia University. As a college student, he embraced his name and mixed heritage. Upon graduation, he moved to Chicago to work as a community organizer, then left to attend Harvard Law School. He felt that even though he was able to help people, a law degree would allow him to help even more. Eventually, he returned to Chicago to work again as an organizer, but then entered politics, where he began his career as an Illinois state senator. 8 years later, he became a US senator, and just 4 years later, became president of the United States. And day 29, because remember, there's a leap year that happens too every 4 years. So we have an extra day every 4 years out into February. And they wanted to include it in here because it says today. What will today bring? What will today be? Will today be the day you make history? Will your thoughts evolve science? Will your skill earn gold? Will your life story be one worth being told? Will your questions change laws? Will your words inspire others? Will your name be passed on by fathers and mothers? Will the fire in your spirit spark a revolution? Will your actions advance humanity's evolution? Will others follow you into battle to defend liberty? Will today be the day you add to history? Today is the day. Today is to be. All right, and that's the end of that. And I love how that ends because it lets us know that there are still so many important moments of history to be made. And all of us, no matter what, can be a part of that. So think today, reflect on all of these 28, 29 important historical times, and think about ways that you will be able to take part in it. Because all of you, remember, have greatness in you, just like Kevin Bracey shared with us this week. So think about how you're going to use it to make the world a better place. All right. I hope you guys have a great day. Have a great week off next week, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.